Success starts when you stop treating yourself casually. Take a moment before we begin, not to feel motivated, not to feel inspired, but to become present. Because this session is not entertainment, it is not background noise, it is not something you listen to while doing 10 other things. This session is about you, your career, your standards, your discipline, and the seriousness with which you treat your own life. Let me start with a truth that most professionals never hear clearly. Success does not come to those who are talented, it does not come to those who are lucky, and it does not come to those who are busy. Success comes to those who take themselves seriously. And the reason this matters so deeply is because most capable people do not fail loudly, they fail quietly. They fail by delaying, they fail by adjusting, they fail by tolerating less than what they are capable of, they fail by treating their time, energy, and growth casually. This audiobook is about ending that pattern. Segment 1: Treating yourself casually, the invisible career killer. In professional life, treating yourself casually does not look dramatic. It does not look like irresponsibility. It does not look like failure. It looks normal. It looks like arriving just one time and never early. It looks like doing your job but never preparing beyond it. It also looks like saying yes when you mean I don't care. It looks like postponing growth because things are not things are stable. I repeat, it looks like postponing growth because things are stable. And stability, when misunderstood, becomes stagnation. When you treat yourself casually, you don't disrespect your job, you disrespect your potential. You begin to operate at a level that feels uncomfortable, not capable. I repeat, you begin to operate at a level that feels uncomfortable, not capable. And comfort is dangerous because comfort feels safe while quietly limiting your future. Professionals who stagnate rarely realize it is happening. There is no alarm, no warning message, just a slow loss of ambition disguised as practicality. Let us go to segment 2. Self respect is a real professional skill. In corporate environments, self respect is misunderstood. People think confidence is about speaking loudly, about asserting dominance, about visibility. But real professional self respect is quiet. It shows up as being prepared, being consistent, being dependable, being emotionally regulated. Self respect means you don't rush your work just to finish it. You don't lower your standards just to fit in. You don't say yes to protect comfort and no to protect growth. When you respect yourself, your work carries weight, and over time, people trust weight more than words. I would go to segment 3 now. Responsibility, the moment your career changes direction. Every professional career has a turning point. Not when you get promoted, not when you change companies, but when you internally decide this outcome belongs to me. Responsibility is not pressure, it is power. The moment you stop saying, they didn't guide me, no one told me, this wasn't explained, and start saying, I'll figure it out, I'll improve it, I'll take ownership, your value multiplies. Organizations don't promote effort, they promote reliability and responsibility. I'll move on to segment 4 now. Stop waiting for motivation. Build professional discipline. Motivation is emotional, discipline is structural. Professionals who wait to feel motivated remain inconsistent. Professionals who build discipline become predictable, and predictability builds trust. Discipline means doing the task even when it is invisible, preparing even when no one checks, improving even when there is no applause. Self respect is discipline practiced daily. Segment 5. The cost of casual living. Every time you delay what matters, you pay a price. Not immediately, not dramatically, but slowly. You pay with missed confidence, reduced influence, limited growth. Casual living doesn't destroy careers overnight, it erodes them silently. Let us close this segment, closing reflection. Let me leave you with this thought before we move forward. If you don't take your career seriously, someone less capable but more disciplined will pass you. Not because they are better, but because they decided to respect themselves sooner. This audiobook exists to make sure that person is you. Absorb this. Pause here if needed, because from the next hour onward, we stop discussing awareness and start building standards, discipline, and professional identity. Let us continue to part 2, and here I will continue with time ownership, focus systems, emotional discipline, professional standards. So, what will you understand now in this part 2? Professional time, focus, and responsibility. Success starts when you stop treating yourself casually. As we enter this part 2, I want you to notice something. In the first part, nothing I shared was complicated. There were no hacks, no shortcuts, no dramatic formulas. And yet, what you heard may have felt uncomfortable because growth is not blocked by lack of information, it is blocked by lack of seriousness. In this segment, we move from awareness into application. This is where most people drop off, not because it is difficult, but because it demands discipline without applause. Segment 6. Time is not a skill problem, it is a respect problem. Most professionals say they struggle with time management, but let me say this clearly and calmly. You do not have a time problem, you have a priority clarity problem. Everyone gets the same 24 hours, but not everyone treats those hours with respect. When you take yourself casually, you start the day reactively. Let meetings control your energy, allow notifications to interrupt thinking, postpone important work until you are exhausted. This is not a poor planning, this is low self priority. And professionals who grow do not manage time, they manage attention. They decide in advance what deserves focus, what deserves delegation, what deserves elimination. Time rewards clarity, not intention. Segment 7. Busy is not productive, focus is. Being busy feels important, but it rarely creates impact. Busy professionals attend many meetings, reply to everything immediately, multitask constantly, feel exhausted but unfulfilled. So, what do focus professionals do then? They protect deep work time, they prepare before execution, reduce unnecessary communication, produce results that speak quietly. Focus is not about doing more, it is about doing what matters most consistently. When you take yourself seriously, you stop confusing movement with progress. Let us go to segment 8, deep work, the currency of high performers. Deep work is the ability to concentrate without distraction on cognitively demanding tasks. This skill alone separates average professionals from valuable ones, replaceable roles from irreplaceable expertise. So, deep work requires boundaries, planning, discomfort. You cannot scroll deeply and think deeply at the same time. Every interruption trains your brain to be shallow. Serious professionals protect thinking time as if it were a meeting with their future. Because it is. Segment 9, responsibility without micromanagement. Taking responsibility does not mean controlling everything, it means owning outcomes, anticipating problems, closing gaps without reminders. Professionals who wait for instructions stay limited. Professionals who ask, what could go wrong here? How can this be improved? What is missing? Become leaders before the title arrives. Responsibility is noticed even when it is not praised. Moving to segment 10, emotional discipline at work. Professional success is emotional mastery in action. When you take yourself seriously, you don't react impulsively, you don't take feedback personally, you don't defend mistakes, you correct them. You don't seek validation, you seek excellence. Emotional discipline means choosing response over reaction. This is what builds trust in high pressure environments. Moving on to segment 11, stop leaking energy. Energy is wasted through complaining, over explaining, gossip, comparison, mental rehearsals of conflict. Serious professionals conserve energy. They invest it in skill, preparation, and execution. Your career does not need more effort, it needs better energy direction. So let me close the second segment. So what's the reflection here? Let me leave you with this reflection. Every day, your calendar reveals your priorities. Every interruption you allow reveals your standards. Every task you delay reveals how seriously you take your future. When you respect your time, others begin to respect it too. And when time starts respecting you, progress becomes unavoidable. In the next segment, we will go deeper into standards, consistency, and professional identity. Because success is not what you do occasionally, it is who you become daily. So, what would be covering in the next segment? Professional standards, consistent psychology, identity shift from employee to professional, why most careers plateau. Part 3, standards, consistency, and professional identity. Success starts when you stop treating yourself casually. By now, something should feel different. Not excitement, not motivation, but clarity. Because clarity is what appears when excuses fade. In the first 2 hours, or in the first two segments, we spoke about self respect, responsibility, time ownership, focus, and emotional discipline. Now we address the question that truly defines success. What standards are you living by when no one is watching? This segment is about that invisible line. So I would move on to segment 12, standards, the hidden rules running your career. Every professional lives by standards. Some are intentional, most are unconscious. Standards are not goals, they are the minimum behavior you accept from yourself. High standards sound like I don't submit work, I wouldn't stand behind. I don't miss deadlines without a communication. I don't repeat the same mistake twice. I prepare before I speak. Let us know how low standards sound harmless. It's good enough. This will do for now. No one will notice. I'll improve later. Careers are built not by big decisions but by small standards repeated daily. Moving on to segment 13, why talent plateaus without standards. See, talent opens doors and standards decide how long they stay open. Many intelligent professionals plateau early, not because they stopped learning, but because they stopped expecting more from themselves. When standards drop, learning becomes optional, feedback becomes threatening, growth becomes inconvenient. High standards keep talent sharp. They force refinement even when comfort tempts stagnation. Moving on to segment 14, consistency, the quiet builder of trust. Consistency is unglamorous. There are no celebrations for showing up prepared daily, no applause for meeting expectations consistently. And yet, this is exactly what builds trust. People trust professionals who are predictable in effort, stable under pressure, reliable in delivery. Trust creates opportunity, not brilliance alone. Moving on to segment 15, why inconsistency destroys credibility. Inconsistency is more damaging than average performance. When people cannot predict your output, they stop depending on you, they stop involving you, they stop considering you for growth. You may still be talented, but you become risky. Serious professionals eliminate risk by becoming consistent. And segment 16 goes this way, identity shift from employee to professional. This is one of the most important shifts you will ever make. An employee asks, what is my task? A professional asks, what is the outcome? Employees wait, professionals anticipate. Employees execute instructions, whereas professionals improve systems. When you take yourself seriously, you stop thinking like a role and start thinking like a responsibility holder. Segment 17, language reveals identity. Listen to how you speak at work. Your language reveals your mindset. The casual language. I think maybe, or I was just trying, or I don't know if this is right. So, this is the casual language. How does a professional language sound? Here's what I recommend. This is the impact. Let's refine this approach. Language is not about confidence, it is about clarity and ownership. So, let me give a closing reflection for this segment. Let me leave you with a powerful question. If someone observed your daily behavior for 1 month, what standards would they say you live by? Not what you intend, not what you hope, but what you demonstrate consistently. Because identity is not what you claim, it is what you practice. So, in the next segment, we will go deeper into long term discipline, professional maturity, leadership behaviors before titles. This is where serious professionals separate permanently. So, what will we be studying here in the next segment? Long term discipline, career maturity, leadership without authority, why most people remain replaceable, You are building something rare and valuable. So, moving on to part 4, long term discipline, maturity, and leadership before title. And we are talking on success starts when you stop treating yourself casually. See, at this stage, something important should be happening internally. You may not feel excited, you may not feel emotional, but should feel anchored, because this is where seriousness settles in, not as a pressure, not as a fear, but as a quiet commitment to long term excellence. This hour is about what separates people who rise temporarily from those who rise and stay there. Segment 18, long term discipline beats short term intensity. Short bursts of effort are easy. Anyone can work hard for a week, anyone can feel inspired for a month, but careers are built across years. Long term discipline looks like showing up even when growth feels slow, maintaining standards during boring phases, improving skills when no one is watching. Short term intensity seeks results, long term discipline builds identity, and identity always outlasts motivation. Segment 19, professional maturity, thinking beyond the moment. Professional maturity is the ability to delay gratification, think in quarters, not days, protect reputation over ego, choose progress over proving a point. Mature professionals ask, how will this decision age? What pattern am I reinforcing? Does this build trust long term? Immature professionals focus on immediate comfort, being right, being noticed. Maturity is invisible until leadership opportunities appear. Moving on to segment 20, why serious professionals stay calm under pressure. Pressure reveals your relationship with yourself. When you take yourself seriously, you don't panic, you don't rush decisions, you don't assign blame. You slow down when others speed up. Calm is not personality, calm is preparation, meeting responsibility. Organizations trust calm professionals with bigger problems. Segment 21, leadership begins before the title. See, leadership is not permission, it is behavior. And you lead when you take responsibility without authority, you bring clarity in confusion, you protect standards in chaos, you think about outcomes, not credit. Titles recognize leadership, they do not create it. When you behave like a leader early, you become the obvious choice later. Moving on to segment 22, becoming irreplaceable through standards. No one is truly irreplaceable, but some professionals are hard to replace. They are not louder, they are not busier, they are let me repeat, they're not louder, they're not busier. They are consistent, clear, reliable, calm, and solution oriented. Irreplaceability comes from reducing friction, not increasing presence. Moving on to segment 23, stop performing, start contributing. What happens, like many professionals perform instead of contribution. They talk more than listening. They appear busy instead of being effective. They seek visibility instead of being valuable. But serious professionals improve processes, simplify complexity, and reduce chaos. Contribution compounds, performance fades. So, The closing reflection on this segment would be, ask yourself this honestly. If your role disappeared tomorrow, would your impact be missed? Not your presence, not your effort, but your value. This question is not meant to threaten you, it is meant to focus you. In the final hour, we will bring everything together: ownership, legacy, and long term success. Because the ultimate goal is not success alone, it is sustainable respect. So, in the next, the final segment, we will be discussing about ownership without ego, eliminating excuses permanently, career legacy thinking, final professional commitment. So, part 5 and the final part of this session, ownership, legacy, and the final professional commitment. And we are discussing success starts when you stop treating yourself casually. If you have stayed with this session until now, you're no longer listening casually, and that itself is a signal, because people who treat their lives casually rarely commit to long periods of focused reflection. This final hour is not about learning something new, it is about deciding who you will be from this point forward, not emotionally, not temporarily, but structurally. Segment 24: Ownership without ego. Ownership is often misunderstood. It is not dominance, it is not control, it is not loud confidence. Ownership is quiet responsibility. It sounds like, I'll take care of it, this outcome is on me, I'll fix what's broken. Ego sees recognition, ownership seeks results. The more ownership you take, the less validation you need, and that independence is power. Moving on to segment 25: Why excuses end when self respect begins. Excuses survive only where standards are negotiable. When you take yourself seriously, excuses feel uncomfortable, delay feels expensive, blame feels unproductive, and you stop asking, can I avoid this? And start asking, what is required? Self respect eliminates excuses quietly without confrontation. Moving on to segment 26: Responsibility creates freedom, not a pressure. Many people fear responsibility, they think it will trap them. In reality, responsibility frees you. When you own outcomes, you stop waiting for permission, you stop depending on motivation, you stop reacting to chaos. Freedom comes from control over your effort, not from the absence of obligation. Segment 27: Career legacy thinking. Most professionals think in tasks, some think in goals, few think in legacy. Legacy is not about fame, it is about consistency of impact. And ask yourself, what problems do I solve well? What standards do I represent? What do people rely on me for? Legacy is built slowly through behavior, repeated long after motivation fades. Segment 28: The cost of returning to casual living. Once awareness is built, returning to casual behavior feels indifferent. I repeat, once awareness is built, returning to casual behavior feels different. You will notice time wasted, effort diluted, focus slipping. This awareness is not meant to punish you, it is meant to guide you back to discipline. Progress is not linear, but seriousness must remain constant. Segment 27: The final professional commitment. I want you to hear this clearly. You do not need to transform overnight. You do not need perfection, you need commitment. And that commitment is towards showing up prepared, respecting your time, holding your standards, owning your outcomes. This commitment practiced daily will change how people respond to you because seriousness is visible. Let me leave you with one sentence, not as a motivation, not as inspiration, but as a professional principle. I will no longer treat my life, my time, or my career casually. Repeat it internally if needed. From this decision, discipline becomes natural, confidence becomes grounded, growth becomes inevitable. Success does not begin with achievement. Success begins the day you take yourself seriously. Thanks for tuning in. Take care. Bye.